welcome to the Get Real with King Arthur show. And, dear listeners, we've been talking about mumbling. We don't want you mumbling. You're experts in the language, and it's yours. And we want to talk about using it to its capacity or near capacity, whether you write the poem or just increase the colorful and accuracy and beauty of what you say. So, you're all experts in the language. And we talked about the fact that you start with emotion, true emotion. Don't invent something, what you're supposed to feel, real emotion. And from that, you build the structure, which is the poem, or really just a text. Tim wants to know what a text is. It's a meaningful, complete statement, as opposed to the sentence. Anyway, now we talked about building the structure of this poem, and when you're building a house, you get all the lumber and the cement and the bricks and the nails and the hammers. You put them in a big pile. That is not a house. So you have to use that to build your house. And so you have a text. A house has some kind of comprehension. You don't just have a wing flying over there and something over here. It has a unity and a structure that is a meaningful residence. So you're building the structure. You're taking that lumber and that cement to build the structure. Now, let's talk a little bit about the structure. First, it is, of course, composed of words. And Queen Victoria is going to read a few lines from one of Byron Hoot's poetry. Byron Hoot is an up-and-coming author that we will have shortly on Get Real with King Arthur. So, Queen Victoria, can you read the essence of a poem by Byron talking about words in writing?
Yes. You want the last 4 lines or the whole thing?
The last words that we said you're to read, not the whole thing.
That makes us human, to match our flesh and blood and bone. The sense that the right words in the right order make all the difference. That close may be the perfection we are to achieve. That sighing and longing are confirmation.
Thank you. Beautiful sentiments. So he's talking about the words as you're building a house. Now, there are 2 kinds of boards that you use to build a house. And we call them metaphor and metonymy. Don't get scared by those words. Metonymy and its neighbor simile is talking about usual associations. So if you're writing about your old home on the farm, you might talk about some of the objects, the old oaken bucket that hangs in the well and the creaking back screen door and whatnot. So you can load as you're building the house, you can load with associations. You have plenty of associations with what you're talking about. And so put those in. Be very specific. Now, the other metaphor is an unusual comparison. So, for example, I want to refer to a couple of examples of metaphor. Let's talk about fog. Byron, again, in one of his poems, talks about the rearrangement of fog as a woman lifting up her skirts. T.S. Eliot, in J. Alfred Prufrock, the poem, talks about the fog sliding along the street and then rubbing its muzzle on the window pane, then curling around the house and falling asleep. So the fog doesn't actually do such a thing, but it's a metaphor to explain what, to compare the fog with some kind of a cat maybe or something. So now the boards will be metonymy, usual associations. Chuck them in. You got a lot of wonderful specifics that you know in your life. And then let's say that metaphor, the unusual associations, is like the paint that you put on the house. Colorful. Yes, it's not the boards, it's the paint to decorate the house. So here you have the house with the structure, with the boards, which are usual associations, and with the paint, unusual associations. And so this doesn't require any great genius to do. The meat of the poem is usual associations and unusual associations. Usually with the, when they talk about metonymy, that's usual associations, they talk about referring to the executive branch of government as the White House, because the White House, the executive is associated with the White House. So your associations and your metaphor, anyway, be wild, throw open the door, go anywhere you want, experience, and make your language richer and more accurate. And so, have a great week building your house.